With the recent influx of school violence and school shooting threats, Madison County School Board has been discussing different ways to implement safer procedures in all the schools in Madison County, including search and seizures and metal detectors. We spoke to Attorney Randy O'Neill, who gave us all the details on the Fourth Amendment, what the schools are allowed to do, and if you should be worried for your children.
Chances are it's going to rain some more. Yeah, it's going to happen. If your roof is damaged by rain, hail, or strong winds, you need to call Unlimited Roofing now. Get totally free estimates and inspections. Call Tim Patrick or Danny Nutter now. Unlimited Roofing. Stay dry, folks.
In general, everyone is protected by the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution. In Kentucky, it's the same exact language under Section 10 of the Kentucky Constitution. Pursuant to that, you're protected from searches of your home, your papers, your person, unless there is reasonable basis for that and probable cause. You're protected, it specifically says, from unreasonable searches, and that's the key that comes about in most case law relating to searches. And one would think, and most people think, that the Fourth Amendment protects you and it's an absolute protection. But they continue to carve out more and more exceptions to the Fourth Amendment, and in particular with cases involving schools. That's something that has been happening for 50+ years. There's a lower standard for a search of a student in a school than there is for an individual outside of a school. I don't necessarily agree with that premise, but that's what the United States Supreme Court and the Kentucky Supreme Court has continued to find. It's even been stretched to the point where even cases dealing with searches such as strip searches have been allowed. When you're dealing with a search in a school, there's a lower expectation than an individual would have just driving down the road, for instance. They do not have a probable cause standard with a search in a school. It's a reasonableness standard. There has been a lot of talk here lately about different things that are being implemented in schools, from metal detectors to searches at random. I don't know how all those are going to pan out. Metal detectors are more of an administrative type of search. I don't think there's going to be any issue with that. As far as the random searches, there could potentially be an issue with that I could see, and I think that's probably something that will ultimately result in a lawsuit at some point in time if they have a policy such as that, which I believe Fayette County has implemented a policy to that effect. And the issue with that is that it is not necessarily a reasonable search in that it's a search for no reason. The courts have continued to chip away at the Fourth Amendment, and they will keep going a little further and a little further each time. And they take a lot of things in consideration. One of the things they take in consideration is the age of the children, why they are searching them. They can't just search someone just random because you look different or something of that nature. They have to have some reasonable suspicion that you are committing some kind of theft of something or that you have drugs on you. I think that these additional procedures that they're putting in place of searches, metal detectors and all that, I think they're probably going to get away with all that just fine. Because really when you're on a school premise as a student, you really have a restricted amount of rights. But the bottom line is it doesn't have to be a school resource officer or a police officer. Any teacher, any administrator, the way the current case law is allowed to search if they have a reasonable cause. However, the whole Fourth Amendment context doesn't come into play unless it's a government actor, which these school administrators and teachers, they are government actors. But one way or another, any of them under the current case law can search someone.
Stay tuned as WBON TV follows up with all the Madison County School Board meetings to see what will be implemented to keep students safe. For WBON TV, I'm Marissa Hempel.